Welcome to the Parent Guide to Reading Standards, what they mean, why they're taught, how to use them, and why are they needed. We will be going over the reading standards for fifth grade. Whenever you see reading standards, you will see that they have 2 letters and 2 numbers. The 2 letters are RL, reading literature, any story that is not real, and RI, reading information, any passage or text that is about a real topic. The 2 numbers represent the grade level. For us, it will be 5, equal meaning fifth grade, and then the number of the standards, 1, 2, 3, after the decimal point. We will be covering one of the main standards in Module 1. There are 4 modules. The first module will be covered during September through October. Reading literature and reading information standard 5.5 are similar but also different. Reading literature standard 5.5 explains how a series of chapters, scenes, or stanzas fit together to provide the overall structure of a particular story, drama, or poem. Reading information standard 5.5 compare and contrast the overall structure of events, ideas, concepts, or information in 2 or more texts. So for reading literature standard 5.5, students have to tell what happened at the beginning, middle, and end of a story. They have to be able to explain how things change from the beginning, middle, and the end. And they have to be able to explain how the author made the story flow or come together. For reading information standard 5.5, students have to identify how an author organized their information, as well as compare how authors write or organize their book or articles on the same topic. So the skills that are being taught or should have already been taught when students begin to engage with this particular standard is just one, basic reading skills. Do they understand what they're reading? Can they say in their own words what the text is about? When it comes to reading literature, they have to be able to tell the story elements, be able to see the story elements, understand the story elements, looking at the way a story begins, how it develops in the middle, and how it ends. They have to be able to identify the author's craft. How do an author put a story together to teach lessons? Be able to identify different ways of organizing information when it comes to reading information standard, as well as comparing different structures, looking at the way different authors present information when they're writing an article or a book on a topic or subject. These standards are needed and are taught because when it comes to reading literature, anytime students read a book, they are learning life lessons through the characters that they're engaged with. They are learning about self. They are learning how to problem solve and engage with others. And they're learning about different cultures. This can also be said in regards to reading information text. Students become better writers when they're good readers. They're able to pick out information when reading research papers, articles, or informational books. And they're able to pick out facts over opinions. If your child is engaging with a text or they are trying to determine and compare just the overall structure for reading literature or information, it's always going to be best practice for them to annotate while they're reading. So they should be what we call talking back to the text, writing in the text. If they have a book, have them use a pencil, and it's okay for them to use a pencil and just engage with the text, respond to the text. If they are using an article, they can use a pencil or they can use a pen. As they're annotating, they should be asking questions throughout the text, asking questions about the characters' actions, about how they feel, about events that took place, responding to the text. How do they feel about what just happened? Connections that they made, things that they see that they've done or they've seen somebody else do. Make predictions as they read and write those predictions down so that they can see if those predictions come true. Pay attention to a character throughout a story, just noting just how they feel, what they say, what they're thinking, their actions throughout, just constantly taking notes on that. Paying attention to problems within a story and how the character responds to them, responds to others, and how they solve them. And look for clue words to determine how the author is presenting their information when they're reading informational text. Constantly looking at the subject matter, and if the author is looking at it as a cause and effect, if they're looking at it as this is the problem and this is how it was solved, if they're just showing you information about a topic, a person, or event in order from the time they were born until the day of their death or to currently, or just looking if they're just simply describing the order of events, if they're describing that person. So students should be able to either see if the author is showing them the difference between two different things, if they're showing a cause and effect between two different things, if they see a problem and then the solution, or if they just see that they're being described, something is being described, or if it's just what we call in chronological order. So whenever your child is engaging with the text, that they should constantly be looking for these things. Annotation is going to be something that you hear me say a lot when I'm talking about the standards, and your child will hear me say that a lot as well. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. Thank you.